we're going to be focusing on publishing an educational web app from start to finish with help from AI. Who might want to publish an educational app? Well, yourself, for example, in terms of creating a resource or more for your students. But also your students come in your class with varying levels of skill. They have different ideas and interests. And some students might actually really enjoy or relish the idea of creating an educational app and would be happy to do it for extra credit or as an alternative form to an assignment. We're going to talk about how you can create a web app using just free tools. We'll work with ChatGPT. That's the AI that will be writing the program. We'll talk about Replit, which can then run the Python code that was created. And it also has its own AI agent if you prefer to use it instead of ChatGPT. And then we'll cover the use of Trinket to make your app publicly visible to everyone else. Both Replit and Trinket can do this, but Replit charges $10 a month, whereas Trinket will do it for you for free or a minimum charge if you want to upscale some of the capabilities. All right, so when you're thinking of creating an educational app, and let's scale this back a moment. Let's just say you want to create a program and run it without any programming skills. You just want to be able to, for example, let's say you have a neighbor who is very happy to program things for you in Python. And you want to be able to say, hey, can you go ahead and create a program that will do the following? And your neighbor would be like, sure, I'd be happy to do so. That's kind of how we're going to be working with ChatGPT. So you will be brainstorming ideas for your app, and you can actually go to ChatGPT and ask it, hey, what are some apps that I might be able to create for my students in the following discipline? And it could give you several ideas to start off with, and then interacting with it, you might get additional ideas and so on. So it's not like you have to just sit there and think one up. There's lots of ways to generate possibilities. Then you'll need to decide who's going to develop this app. So for this video, we're going to talk about using AI to do. And of course, there's ChatGPT 4.0, which is a paid version, or there's a ChatGPT 4.0 mini, which is free. I mentioned that Replit has its own AI to generate code. So there's lots of approaches. And again, we're just going to talk about one approach, which is the ChatGPT 4.0 mini, which is free. You could also, again, yourself create it if you have programming skills or your students. You can even go to a website like Fiverr, Fiverr, and there are people who, if you give them the specs for a program for 10, 15, or 20 bucks, would be happy to create it for you. So there's lots of ways that we can create an educational app. When you are ready to run with an idea, then you need to be able to specify it clearly enough that the person could create the app. So again, we're just going to work with a very simple example, providing a data set and having it calculate the mean and the median. And then after I go through this process, you can come back and replace a simple idea of a data set and calculating the mean and median with some other educational app that'd be interesting to create or to develop. Okay, so we have our idea, the data set and getting the mean and median. So now we just need to get this app coded. So here's a prompt that you can copy and paste into ChatGPT. And it's doing a couple things. One, it's giving the AI a role. It's like, hey, you're an educational software developer. And believe it or not, that's actually useful to tell AI. If you will, it creates a mindset from which it then works from. Then, in addition, we might state some initial expectations, like, hey, write the program to be clear and easily readable. Check the programs thoroughly for bugs so that they can be depended upon. When I inserted that part, the amount of bugs I saw in my code generated by AI decreased. Indicate that your program should include a welcoming set of directions, and at the end, ask if the user would like to do the activity again. And then here's something that's a little bit technical, but because we're going to be using Replit to run our Python code, Replit expects that the code is written in Python 3x, which is what ChatGPT normally does anyway, but I'm just being really clear here. And we're telling the ChatGPT that it can use software libraries as needed. So, and this is all that Replit app can handle really well. Okay, so that's just kind of like setting the stage. Then what do we actually want it to do? Well, here we go. Write a program that asks the user to type in a set of numbers and then reports the mean and median. Okay, so I'm going to, again, copy this, Control C for Windows, or Command C on the Mac, and I'll go ahead and open up ChatGPT. And I'm going to be using the free version, which is the ChatGPT 4.0 Mini. All right, so here it says message ChatGPT. I'll do Control V. So here's my prompt. Click the little up arrow, and here it goes. So I love it. It says, hey, here's a Python program meets your requirements. It prompts user to input a set of numbers, calculates the mean and median, and asks if they like to repeat the activity. Boom, that's exactly what I asked. Here's an explanation for how it's going to work. Let's give it a go. So I'm going to go up here and click the copy code. And now I need a place to put this code so that it will run. Okay, so we talked about brainstorming ideas for your app, deciding who will develop the app, outline the app specifications, and get the app coded. And once it's coded, clicking the copy code button. Now we get to test the app. For this, we're going to go ahead and use the free version of Replit, which is a very nice, solid, professional site that has a free option that's available to run the Python code that ChatGPT creates. So I'll go ahead and open up Replit. And I'm already logged in here, but for yourself, once you click on Replit at the website, you'll click on the button Sign Up for Free, and then you'll go ahead and create your account. If you have a Google account, you can click Continue with Google, select your account, and log in that way. Or you can create a new account here with your email and providing a password that you'll be using. Okay, once you're logged in, we're going to click on the button Create Python. So here we go. And we'll go ahead and provide a title. So we'll say calculate mean and median. Create REPL. Setting it up. It's continuing to set up, and now it's ready. So at this point, I'll use the Control V to paste my code. And if you're using a Mac, it'd be the Command V. And with that, I can click Run. Now run the code. Look at that, I got some confetti. And it says, welcome to the mean and median calculator. Please enter a set of numbers separated by spaces. So we'll say 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. So the mean is 300, the median is 300. It's looking good. Let's try 1, 3, 5, and 6, and 99. So a mean of 22, presumably from adding up all these numbers. Those numbers add up to 114. There were 5 such numbers. And we get 22.8. And you'll notice I'm checking the work that the Python code is doing because ChatGPT or anyone else who programmed it, I'm not positive does it actually work, right? So as the instructor, I always want to be the one who checks it. And the median is 5, and that would be the middle value in the set, and 5 is smack dab in the middle of these 5 values. So at this point, pretty good. I'll say no more calculations, and it says goodbye. Perfect. So at this point, you now see how you can work with ChatGPT to create the code and then bring it out over here to Replit and run the code, which in itself is already fairly satisfying. But we actually want to take this a further step. We want to be able to post this as an app. But let's say that we didn't want to make it as an app, right? I mean, maybe I had the ChatGPT create a program that would generate a demonstration, and I might use software to record that demonstration and make it available to my students, and there wouldn't be any need for them to click on the app itself. So this just to say, sometimes it's just nice to create the app. Other times you might want to make it into a web app. All right, we'll head back to our instructions here. So just kind of catch up, we clicked on the button to create Python. We gave our program a title. We clicked the plus create REPL. And then we went ahead and We clicked on that first line. We did Control V for Windows or Command V if it was a Mac to paste in the code. And then once the code was in there, we clicked the Run button. And it ran really well. But sometimes you might go to run the program and you get a bug. So let's see what that might be. So it says import statistics. I'm just going to create a bug. And I'm going to add in some additional S's here. So there's no such thing as statistics S with lots of S's. And if I say run, it gives me this error here. So if I didn't know why this error was here, I could highlight the error, Control C, and then head over to ChatGPT and say, can you fix the code? I got the following error. And then Control V, and in this case, it didn't copy my error, so let me come back. Instead of doing Control C to copy, I'm just going to go right click and choose copy. Sometimes that'll work when Control C doesn't. So let's go back to ChatGPT, and I'll do Control V over here, and there we go, that's the error. And I'll press enter. And it recognizes what the problem is right away, that it should be statistics, not with a bunch of S's on it. It gives the code. I can copy it, bring it over here, and then I would just click somewhere here. I do Control A to highlight everything, press the delete button, Control V, here's the new code, click run, and it's running, right? Because the thing is, when ChatGPT codes your program, it's very possible that it's going to have some errors in it. It's not a perfect programmer. But the cool thing is, if you tell ChatGPT what the errors are, it will try to correct it. And generally, I'll allow ChatGPT 4 attempts to correct something. And if it's just not working at that point, you're like, oh, okay, well, you had your shot. But if it can fix it within 4 attempts, then we're good and we move on. All right, so coming back then to our set, so you may need to debug and or improve your program, right? So if there's an error here, you highlight it, and then you can right click on the highlighted error message and select copy. That's what I did that actually worked. Then you would go ahead and tell ChatGPT about that error and get the new code. Alternatively, you might want to ask ChatGPT to make improvements on an already existing working program. So I could go back to ChatGPT and I could say, you know what, instead of having to type yes or no at the end of the game, just have them type Y or N, which this particular example of the program already did that, so no need to. I could say add a blank line just above where the user asked for input, add 2 blank lines if the program runs again. I could just say basically make these few changes, and then ChatGPT will go ahead and do that. And then once I got the new code, as you saw me doing, I would go ahead and click anywhere on my old code in Replit, and then do Control A to highlight all of the old code, press the delete button, and then finally press either Control V for Windows or Command V for Mac and paste in the new code, and I'm good to go. All right, so that's all about like if it's just me who wants to look at the program that ChatGPT created. Now let's talk about making it available to others. Okay, so we're going to now use the free version of Trinket, and I like Trinket. I went ahead and got the paid version for 1 month, but I went back and saw that the free version can actually host the Python code. It just has to be a simplified version of the Python code. So I'm here at Trinket, and I'm already logged in and ready to go. But for yourself, when you go there, it won't know who you are, right? So when you go to the Trinket.io site, click on the button sign up for your free account, and just like we saw with Replit, you can create an account using your existing Google account, or you can type in an email address and the password you like to use and click sign up. Now that you're in Trinket, we'll go ahead and tell it we want a new Trinket, and we'll indicate that we want it to be in Python. So I'm going to head over to Trinket. As mentioned, I'm already logged in. If I click on home here, here's my existing trinkets that I've made. I'm going to say new Trinket, Python. Now, here's the rub. The free version it works with Python version 2. But ChatGPT will naturally program in Python 3, and Python 3 has more capabilities, makes your program run smoother, and so on. But the paid version of Trinket uses Python 3 and make it into a web app that everyone else can use. Well, it's $3 a month, which isn't too bad. You have to pay it as $36 for the year, or you can pay for it on a month-by-month basis of $4.50 each month. So I'm just going to focus on the free version. So Python 2 and no libraries. So let's come back here. So we've got Trinket. We've opened up a new Trinket, if you will, and we're telling it we're going to use the free version of just Python. Okay, it says paste in your Python code from ChatGPT. Now, before we do that, we have to make this code something that will run in Trinket. So we're going to have to go back to ChatGPT and say, hey, please update the code so that it runs as Python 2x without any libraries. All right, so here I go, ChatGPT. Please redo the code so that it runs in Python 2x without the use of libraries. There we go. So this is a simplified version of our program. I'll click copy code. I'll come over here to Trinket and I'm going to do Control V. Here's my code. I'm going to give it a title. So let's say calculate mean and median. And click save. And now I'll run it. It says, hey, welcome to the mean and median calculator. Please enter a set of numbers separated by spaces. So I'll go with 1, 3, 5, 7, and 99. And it's calculated the mean, 23. That seems about right based upon our previous example. And median is 5. So it appears to be working. And so now I would go ahead and make this something that is visible. Before doing that, I'm going to go up here where it says Prof. Kelly, and I'm going to click on My Settings. And you'll note that I have a username, Prof. Kelly. It's a very simple username. Before I changed it, it was something like, rkelly@gmail.com or something. So I want to make it just a little cleaner of a username because this username will appear in the link that you give to people to access your program. So if you wish, you can change your username, make it a little simpler. Once you've done that, you can click on Update Profile, and then you can head back to Home, and then locate your Trinket, calculate mean and median. Here we are again, and now we're ready to share it. So I'll click on Share, Publish, click Publish, and there's a Prof. Kelly you can see there. I right-click, and I'll open that link in a new tab. And if I give that link to my students or anyone else, it takes them right here. Welcome to the mean and median calculator. Please enter a set of numbers separated by spaces. Oh. And it works. So pretty cool. You can make an app without any programming experience, and you can take it over to Replit, and in Replit you can run it with Python 3 and the libraries, which tends to make something a bit more sophisticated. And if you have no intention of posting your app to the web, then this is a really nice environment to work in. Or you can pay the $10 a month for this site to deploy your apps to the web. Alternatively, you can choose to work with Trinket. And if you're choosing to work with Trinket and you know you're just going to be publishing it to the web, then you can kind of just skip working with Replit, and you can take it from ChatGPT directly to Trinket, being sure to tell ChatGPT to use Python version 2 without libraries, and then paste the code and run it and share it. So there you go. So coming back to our handout, you saw how we got our Trinket account. We started a new Trinket with Python. We went ahead and gave the new program a name. We pasted it in the code from ChatGPT with a Control V. We saved it. We ran it. We saw how it worked. We went ahead and in the Prof. Kelly or in your username, we went to my settings, updated the username to be a little bit simpler because it was going to appear in our URLs that we give people to share a web app with. We clicked the update profile and clicked on the home button. And then from there, we opened up our Trinket. We clicked share, publish. We chose to publish it and it was done. So that's cool. And following along with me, you have published your own web app. And congratulations and success. You're welcome to take a look at the rest of this document. It kind of gives you some additional ideas as well as giving you some example games that were created in under 10 minutes and then talks a little bit about what else you can do from here. All right. Wish you the best.